Welcome to another video tutorial by the Crafty Vintage Girl, and what I'll be tackling today is reverse knitting or knitting backwards. This is where you are going to knit from the left hand side to the right hand side of your work. If you're a standard right-handed knitter, you would be used to going from right to left and then turning your work. This is going to show you how you don't need to. Now where I would use this is for very, very short rows, say 15 stitches or less. Now there are 20 on here, but so 15, 10. I find this method fantastic for entrelac and short rows. Now what we're going to be doing here is first we'll just look at the stitch. Now how it sits is you should have the left hand side of the stitch behind the needle and the right hand side in front. Now first I'm going to show you how to do so it comes up as stocking out on this side, so whereas on the wrong side we've got all the pearly bumps, and on this side we've got all the nice smooth V's. This is what I'm going to do first. So I'm a continental knitter, so my yarn goes in my left hand. If you're right-handed, it will go in your right hand no matter what. Now because we want this side smooth, the needle needs to go in from front to back, and we're going to be slipping in through the stitch. We're not going to be twisting a stitch, we're not going to try and get the needle in the wrong way, we're just going straight in. The yarn will go straight around and then come through. Now there's really no difference to this, although if you're a continental knitter, you won't be used to the throwing action required. If you're doing it with the other hand, which I'll try, I've actually not done it before, but if you knit with the yarn in your right hand, let's try this, you will in fact be pretty much doing a reverse continental. That's easy. That's nice. I like that. Okay, I might actually use that in future. So what you're going to, oh no, except my stitches are now going backwards. Here we go. I haven't done it this way before, so this is very unusual to me. So that way, no. Let's try again. So over the top and down. There we go. Over the top. Okay, it's not quite reverse continental. It's a bit trickier, but you bring the yarn down over the top. Here we go. Through, over the top. Yeah, it's a little trickier that way. It's easier if you just throw it with your left hand. Well, I find it easier. So through, throw, and off. And this will give you the same stitch construction of left behind, right in front. So all this means that when you're doing your short rows or your entrelac, it just means you're not turning your work every 5 or 10 or 15 stitches, depending on how fast you knit, how fast you purl, whether turning the work bothers you at all. You know, that'll all be factored in whether or not this particular technique is going to be worth it for you. As I said, I knitted an entrelac bag. It was quite large, and if I had not taught myself how to knit backwards, I think I would have gone insane. So there we go. As you can see, I've got the little, it's all nice and straight. So if we kept going in that manner, see, I wouldn't actually be taking, I'd just be swapping, wouldn't actually be swapping anything. I wouldn't do anything different. I'd just go back and forth. Here's the knit, straight through. That way. I should have made another swatch for this. Oh well. Oh, because 20 stitches is more than you realise when you're wanting to get to the other end of the row fairly quickly. So all I would do is then just stick it back in and off I go. I wouldn't even, I need to get the tail out of the way. But I wouldn't even really need to stop. I just keep going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. 2, 3. It is a little bit slower. This is the throwing technique is actually the reason I switched to continental in the first place. But when I'm doing small amounts, backwards and forwards, and I don't want to turn the work, it to me that's the payoff. Not having to worry about turning the work. Oh, I've fouled up a stitch. Look at that. That's terrible. Let's fix that up. So, yeah, so to me, that little bit of extra effort for not having to turn the work every 10 stitches or whatever your particular project is. I wouldn't do this for big rows on cardigans or return rows on shawls. But I know there's a couple of patterns out there. One's called, there's a 10 stitch blanket. There's a square, round, and I think a triangular version. I would totally use this on that project. So there you can see there are no garter stitch ridges there at all. That's all lovely and smooth. The tension's not too bad. It's all pretty even. And there you have it. That is doing stockingette knitting backwards. Now if you have any questions or comments, please email me at vintagegrrl.vintagegrrl.net, and please pop past the blog.